I haven't really made a video in a while, and not with the webcam at least, so I'm just gonna get right into it. If anyone's out there watching, this is Lord Nathu. Got a webcam and all this stuff. For the time being, at least for this, because I have some stuff that I want to show. Uh, there's something that with games has been on my mind recently. Sorry, I'm probably not gonna be looking up at the camera. It's too high. My screen's too big. Um, that actually these thoughts got brought back up um, through the Nintendo Direct that happened just yesterday. Or yeah, the other day, whenever I decided to post this because I have a bunch of videos I've been backlogging that I don't actually have. Whatever. Yeah, there's been something on my mind about games recently that got brought back up because of the Nintendo Direct, but I've actually been talking about it for a few years. And here, I'll get some examples about this just a sec. There's a few games that. Okay, there's this one. I'll put this here for now. I'll bring it back up later. I'll talk about all the stuff that happened during the Nintendo Direct because even if anybody watches this, they might have seen it, they might not have. I guess the gist of the stuff that got released was a few things we already knew about. Stuff like the definitive edition of Hyrule Warriors for the Switch, which isn't that surprising given how it's like for the Switch we've gotten Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we've got what else is there? Pokken Tournament DX. We've got all these different things that are being from ported and redone with extra stuff from the Wii U to the Switch because the Switch is more popular than the Wii U ever could have been, just because of and I experienced talk about my own experience with this crap is that when I was researching this, it was not very clear what this was. Shit. It was, but just the basics of it. If people out there don't know what a Wii U is supposed to do, is that it's like, oh, you have different functions with the gamepad. It's like, oh, it's a 3DS or a portable. It's a not a portable. It's a home DS. So you have one screen down here and one screen up on the main screen. Uh, but the downside of it is that it costs a lot of money for just this particular piece of hardware, and it does. People don't sell them separately unless I find some game stores around town who actually do sell them separately. If they have one, they might not have one. That depends. Um, but how it functions is basically like it only has the function as the gamepad for the Wii U. As in, say, you're playing a game on your TV downstairs in the main room at your house, and your family comes downstairs, and I was like, I want to watch this on the TV, and you'd be like, I got you, fam. I'll switch my game feed to the screen, and it works. So it's like, it's a better version of the remote play, like the Vita does for the PlayStation 4, um, on the gamepad for Nintendo. Um, Thing is that it can't be used for anything else. Like the Vita is its own thing. Um, and my particular grievance with the Wii U, and I know I'm getting on a tangent. This isn't even what I wanted to. This isn't even what I wanted to talk about. I have a bunch of other stuff. My particular grievance with it is probably my own fault because I didn't do enough upfront research about it when I wanted to get it, the Wii U, when it first came out, and I thought that thing was the console. I'm probably a freaking fucking idiot for thinking that. But I thought that was the console. Like you could put games in it and play it on the go. Like it was a portable system that came with the system itself, so you could play it on the go and you could play it at your house. But yeah, that wasn't what that is. So that's why like a lot of stuff's been getting put onto the Switch because people actually want to play it on that. Uh, but yeah, the couple things that got announced or re-announced at Nintendo Direct are stuff like the Dark Souls remaster that's also coming out for the Switch, but also for PS4 and Xbox One. I'm not sure about PC, but that we already knew about. But the thing that got released was the Solaire amiibo, which is really cool. It's already sold out on the GameStop website. So good job, gamers with money. It's the ultimate threat. Uh, And the other thing that also was announced that we already knew about was, um, shit. I'm trying to think about what it was. Okay, I'm back. I forgot what was announced. It's actually more than a couple things that we already knew about. It's stuff like it's God damn it, my memory sucks. Uh, Things that we already knew about are stuff like the Kirby game coming out. Actually, if you have a Switch, if anyone is out there watching this for whatever reason, if you have a Switch, go get the demo for Kirby Star Allies. It's great. I played the first level. It's pretty fun. I actually they brought back power combinations like they had in Kirby 64. Not exactly the same, but somewhat of the same. So good enough. Then they also brought forward the Dark Souls remastered, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, and a few other things, including I know there's a game also if you have a Switch for whatever reason, get the demo for Project Octopath Traveler, or yeah, that's what it's called. It's a really long demo. I played it for at least an hour and a half, and it's really fun. I'm surprised that it was even a demo. I was like, oh my god, is this just gonna be the full game? Is this a joke? Like, this is awesome. And the Detective Pikachu thing, which I don't I don't know how I feel about that. But the other things like that's awesome that they're like confirming and elaborating on all of these different things that have already been announced. But there are a couple things that were announced right on this Nintendo Direct yesterday that weren't expected, including uh, Smash Bros. I'm assuming it's Smash 4, gonna come out on the Switch, and I know knowing someone, I know somebody who's like really into Smash, and I know he made the joke. It's just like, what the fuck? What are we gonna do with this? How are we gonna play? How is this? How does this beat this? Like, how is that gonna work? It's not. But uh, playing on the go, you're stuck with that, or the Pro controller if you take that with you. But luckily, I know there was something that if people are out there watching, caught that the USB adapter for the GameCube remote thing for Smash works on the Switch when you're playing it. Like, it has a couple USB ports on the side that work for that stuff, so you can play Smash when that comes out with your GameCube remote, which is really cool considering that they're still catering to that audience. Um, and the other thing is, other apart from, God damn it, where the fuck is? No, I'm not gonna put that on. Whatever. My hair is bothering me. It bothers me all the time. And the other thing, the big thing that I thought I was okay with at first, I was thinking, oh, cool, great, that they're doing this. That's fantastic. But then I thought about it a bit, and I was thinking, what? Like, why this? Why are they doing this? And it's fucking. Let me get it. It's Luigi's Mansion on the Switch. It's Luigi's Mansion on the Switch. And my first thought was, oh, great, GameCube games on the 3DS. That's fantastic. considering that it, from what I could see, that this game coming out for the 3DS is just completely out of the blue. I hadn't seen anything on it, like there had been for Hyrule Warriors on the Switch and Dark Souls. So there hadn't been anything else covered by this. It was just, oh, here's Luigi's Mansion. It'll be coming out. I don't know. I don't remember what the release date was. Just put it up right. Put it up right there. Release date right there. Luigi's Mansion. My first thoughts when I was watching it really late last night was oh great, fantastic. But this morning I was thinking about it more, and I was thinking back to maybe the reason why they would want to release this game on the 3DS and not the Switch. I don't have a problem. I know I was looking on Facebook how people felt about it, like on Zelda Informer and a bunch of different Nintendo based uh pages on Facebook when it comes to Nintendo release stuff. And a lot of people were pissed because, like, why isn't this game on the Switch? I'm disappointed. Why is it not on the Switch? And it's that same kind of argument, like when Majora's Mask 3D came out and people were pissed about it not going to the Wii U, but they wanted it on the Wii U instead of the 3DS. And it's like, I I think that the reason, like, one reason for why they did Majora's Mask 3D is because there's Ocarina of Time 3D. It'd be weird to split them up. That might be one thing. It might not be. I'm not sure. But for this, it's like, oh, uh, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon is on the 3DS. Now you can have Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon and the original the original Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS at the same time, like both cartridges together as a pair. They might even be doing some bundle deals. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, oh, here's Luigi's Mansion for $40, but oh, you get Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon with it or something. Maybe not. I'm not sure. And also, people were saying the reason why this is coming out on the 3DS is because they said that it was originally supposed to be in 3D on the GameCube, but the technology was behind the times and they didn't do it. And that's just like, they're saying this is the way that it was supposed to be experienced in 3D. So they're bringing it back. Hopefully, I mean, a lot of games nowadays on the 3DS are cutting out the 3D, so it might not even have it. We'll see. But this got me thinking. It got me pissed, not because I want it to be on the Switch. I don't give a shit which one it's for. Is that while Luigi's Mansion is a great game, it was great on the GameCube, and I think because it was so great on the GameCube, I think that's where it needs to stay, because I remember playing Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon on the 3DS and remembering when it came out. And I have a bunch of friends who have 3DSs, and looking on the community of people who have 3DSs when the game came out, they didn't expect it to be released. Like, I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong 100%, but from what I can remember, when Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon got released, people were like, "Oh, okay, cool." I mean, we didn't really ask for it. We didn't really want it, but it's cool. Thanks. And that was the kind of vibe I got at playing it several years later after it came out, and also seeing how people reacted when it did come out. And also playing it felt kind of lackluster. The control scheme was fine, but just the gameplay, having it be sort of this, collect your like, because the one thing that made Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube so memorable were all of the ghosts that had personalities. They were people. There were bios on them. They had things about them in this house that were specific to their specific ghost. And they made all the ghosts in Dark Moon extremely generic. They had like fighter names or whatever. Like the red ghost was a fighter, the green ghost was the spook or something. Like, it was all really generic stuff. It didn't feel personalized at all. And also, you weren't trying to collect the souls of these ghosts like you were in Luigi's Mansion. You were just collecting Dark Moon pieces. But then it's like, they're bringing this thing to light. The reason why the game is called Dark Moon is because there's a moon that's dark. It's like a purple, like, gem in the sky or something, like an amethyst. And you're trying to put it back together. The thing is, they're trying to bring attention to this specific object like it's important, even though no one gives a shit. Like, I was playing it just because, oh, it's the closest we're ever gonna get to a Luigi's Mansion remake, so I might as well play it. I didn't really give a crap for the story. It was like Luigi's Mansion feels like a one-off, and I think it should have been taken like a one-off. But if they wanted, it was a better one of the remakes. Like if you want to compare this to Dark Moon, I'd say that's a fair comparison. Not as in comparing like this one is obviously the better one, depending on. I mean, maybe it's not depending on how you see things. Also, like this isn't portable. That one is. It's like it has some more things going for it, but it's. I don't think it's fair. Like this versus Dark Moon, there's some more things in common. Like it's not like they turn Luigi's Mansion into a side scroller. But this shit is unforgivable. Like I'll go into detail about this. Is that if they're releasing a Luigi's Mansion game, Luigi's Mansion remake, 3D remake on on the 3DS, as it is capable of running, because I know there's a lot of 64 stuff on the 3DS, like Ocarina of Time 3D, Majora's Mask, Star Fox, stuff like that. That now, if a portable system can run a GameCube game, then it should be able to run another GameCube game. But oh look, can't even see it because of the light. What is this shit? What is fucking? Who's more of a dumbass? Them who made it or me who bought it? Probably me. I just wanted to see what it was like, and I was really disappointed they turned it into some kind of Yoshi story bullshit. Because it's like the whole thing about Pikmin is they have the time, like it's micromanagement, managing your time, managing your resources, and in this game, all your resources are dealt out to you, and there's no time management. It changed the series, which is perfectly fine. They could have taken like, oh, it's a spinoff. It's this. It is what it is. I'm not trying to. There's no fair comparison between original Pikmin and and Hey Pikmin. It's not a fair comparison. It has to be its own thing. But I don't think that they worked hard enough on making it its own thing. It's just like, oh, here's this game that, another thing with like the same thing with Dark Moon is, here's a game that nobody asked for. And as I know, I'm probably in a very small group of people, of Nintendo fans, who want to see a Pikmin 3D or a Pikmin remaster on the Switch or Wii or whatever. But I feel like there are more people asking for that than there were people asking for a Yoshi Story Pikmin. But that's another thing, is that this is a statement. If they're releasing this for the 3DS, that means they're saying this GameCube games can be ported and remade for the 3DS, a portable system. And as far as I know, they're not releasing it for the new 3DS. It's just for the base 3DS. And they proved that with Dark Moon. If they used the engine that they made to make Dark Moon, they could make a good Luigi's Mansion and have it be just fine. Which is a statement on its own. So that brings me to this. Fucking light. Yeah, that brings me to this shit. This game is great. It's fantastic. Came out in 2010, but it got the remaster in 2005. This came out 3 years ago when the new 3DS was just getting launched. It was a new 3DS launch title. And since then, they haven't done shit. There's like 3 new 3DS exclusives, and 2 of them are Switch and Wii U ports. And this is the thing that's been on my mind. Fuck, I gotta fix the case. I'll fix it later. That's something that's been on my mind when it comes to the 3DS, because the 3DS, I think, is a lost opportunity when it comes to Nintendo, because the 3DS can do so much if you think about it. And I know there's probably a lot of software stuff that it can't do that they're probably innovating on to make work, which makes sense. But let's go over a few things. Is that now they're releasing, for, as far as I know, just for the original 3DS, the Luigi's Mansion 3DS, which is a GameCube game. So it's like, okay, it can run GameCube games. We already know it can run 64 games remastered, but here's a GameCube game, so it's a step up. Um, and now, and then they also already have Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, which is a Wii game. It's a huge Wii game, and there's a lot of Wii games are small. So if they wanted to release another Wii game, a smaller one, they could do it for the 3DS. I don't know why they're not. I think it's a lost opportunity. And then also one of the older titles for the 3DS being Animal Crossing New Leaf. If you compare that to the GameCube Animal Crossing looks like ass, and I hate it. I don't understand, like, people. You got to learn to place your nostalgia and first game love in a good place. Not just because it was the first game in the series, not because it was the first game you played in that series or the first game you played ever, or you have fond memories of it. Because I remember playing, because in comparison to Animal Crossing and Animal Crossing New Leaf has so much more stuff to do. It looks better, and of course it should because it's for a newer system. It's Animal Crossing came out in like what 2001, 2002. I don't know. Um, God damn, it's been 22 minutes. Shit, who cares? Whatever. I'll cut some stuff. I remember playing Animal Crossing for the first time, and it was a nightmare of returning gifts. Like say, oh, it's say I go to my friend, I'm like, you want to borrow, or can you borrow my Xbox controller? And then I let them borrow my Xbox controller. But then another one of their friends comes over to them and is like, "Hey, do you have an Xbox controller I can borrow?" And they're like, "Sure." And then the other person's like, has another friend who as like, "Hey, can I they go over to their house and leave their Xbox controller. So now to get your Xbox controller back, you have to go from house to house to house, and that's the same shit. That's just Animal Crossing. That's the first Animal Crossing. You're just returning shit for people. It's so irritating to be like, these people are lending other people's stuff to their friends who don't associate with each other, and it's like, why are you lending out my shit? God. Um but that's the big thing that I was thinking about with this, because I'm happy that they're making it for the 3DS, but I think that this means a lot more than I think maybe some people right now are making it out to be. Because, like, yeah, okay, great, it's Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS. Nobody really asked for it, but now if this game came out on the 3DS, I think it paves a road for even more games to come to the 3DS like this. Games that maybe people would want to play. Because Luigi's Mansion is definitely a very strong one-off, and same thing, the same thing with Dark Moon. And I think people got their fill of Luigi's Mansion nostalgia from playing Dark Moon when it came out. So why they're releasing it again doesn't really make any sense. Maybe they're experimenting, seeing how it goes. Because this was a launch title for the GameCube, as far as I know. And this came out the same year. It wasn't a launch title, but it came out the same year in 2001. So if they make Luigi's Mansion and it goes well, and I see no reason why it shouldn't, then I think that opens the door for more 3DS games along the way. GameCube games, and even Wii games, because considering that I hadn't heard of Xenoblade Chronicles. Like, I heard about Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii maybe a few weeks before Xenoblade Chronicles 3D came out on the new 3DS, and that was because I was looking through trying to expand my Wii collection, and I was looking up like, oh, probably I looked up a list on like Zelda Informer or something that said the list was titled 10 great Wii games that you probably haven't heard about, and one of them was Xenoblade Chronicles. And that's why I wanted to get it on the 3DS because at that time in my gaming sort of mindset when I 3 years ago, because that was released in 2015 for the 3DS, I was obsessed with having things be handheld, like portable. I want to be able to take it with me. I don't want any limitations. Shit, I want to lay back. There we go. God damn it. Just move that a bit. Okay. Yeah, I was obsessed with there being no limitations. I wanted to be able to play my games whenever I wanted to and move around and be like I didn't want to be limited to having to play games at my house. Probably loud as shit. So having a game be portable to me was very important. Um which is why I was so pumped up when the Switch came out, because like now we have console grade games that are portable now, like Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart, stuff like that. But I hope that with this knowledge, Nintendo decides to go with more games, because obviously if they released a GameCube Virtual Console on the Switch, that would be great. But I think if they were just to make some 3DS, some GameCube ports on 3DS, they could do just fine, because they already. I think they probably don't see like say like top 5 games that should be included in a for Virtual Console, if they ever had a GameCube Virtual Console on the Switch, should first off be, I'm gonna look over there where my GameCube stuff is. For probably what fans want the most is, I would say Wind Waker, Mario Kart Double Dash, Melee, Pikmin, and then I'm gonna be safe and say Luigi's Mansion. So 5 games: uh, Wind Waker, Pikmin, Luigi's Mansion, Melee, and oh wait, no, I'm missing a game. I'd probably it would be a tie between Pikmin and Luigi's Mansion, and then Sunshine, Mario Sunshine, definitely. Thing is that 2 of those games can get crossed out because one, they're not gonna waste their time porting over Mario Kart Double Dash and Melee to the Switch when they're just releasing Smash 4 for the Switch, and they already have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe holding strong. So they're not going to waste their time with that. I wouldn't waste my time with that either, even if you were going to make money off of it. Because they're probably not going to make that much money. They're going to get more people buying. Because if they were going to do that at that point, to make those games over onto the Switch or the 3DS, they would be applying to a very small demographic of their customers, where most people are probably going to say, like, I want to go get Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, or I want to go get Smash 4 when it comes out on the Switch. So Nintendo Direct was interesting. I didn't get to watch it because I had to go to work, but it's great that the Solar Amiibo is going to be insane when that comes out. What else is there? Hyrule Warriors. I've never really known how I felt about Hyrule Warriors. I have it for the Wii U. I'm probably never gonna sell it because my Zelda collection. But I don't know. I just that's for another time. I'll do that Warriors combination. And actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not gonna edit this video at all. Because it's just. That's another thing that I probably cover in a different video that I actually talked about in a video I haven't uploaded because I've been too lazy to do anything. is that I've been trying too hard to make videos a specific way, that it needs to be edited, that it needs to be best quality audio, it needs to be with friends, it needs to have a webcam, it needs to be good games, 60 FPS, whatever, 180p, I need to have a good thumbnail, good descriptions, tags, stuff like that. And I had been working really hard to start doing that, and right off the bat, if you don't have a fan base, it's really unrewarding. Because you're just basically, you're doing it for yourself, which is great. But if you're working hard to do all that stuff with no reward, it's kind of like, it's a bummer. And my content isn't anything special. I'm not doing anything else that anybody else hasn't done already. So it's not really that important, but what's it called? Yeah, so I'm not gonna edit this. Sort of just keep it simple. Um, got some other ideas coming up. So if anybody out there is watching, I hope you enjoyed listening to me rant too long about the Nintendo Direct, where the majority of what I went through is Luigi's Mansion 3DS opens up the door for a lot of different GameCube ports, Pikmin, Mario Sunshine, whatever on that. I think that's a great opportunity if Nintendo decides to see it that way. Um, Dark Souls is a great thing that's coming out on the Switch. I'm definitely gonna play it. I'd love to play it on this channel, since it's probably the perfect thing to do, because I know the one part when I was first trying to revamp this channel from when I had started it a few years ago, I started playing Cave Story Plus, but that was a game that I had never played before. So I wanted to play it on my own time, but I also wanted my reactions and gameplay experiences to be genuine. So I would stop myself from playing it in my own time and only play it when I would record it. And that felt really restricting. And I wanted to beat it on my own time, which I did. But that's why I stopped doing episodes for it. But with Dark Souls, the remaster, I've already played through Dark Souls. I've beaten it. So playing through this will just be an experience on its own. Also, Hyrule Warriors, I'll talk about that in another video maybe. And also the other thing that, and Smash, that'll be interesting to see when it comes out, because I'm hoping it'll come out sometime during the summer. But I'm sure they'll probably delay it until winter and have it come out in like December or some shit. But they probably have it already listed on GameStop as December 31st or something. So yeah, 3DS has some potential still. I know a lot of people on Facebook are saying that the 3DS needs to die. Like, it just kill it, get it out of here. It needs to stop. Or at least the new 3DS needs to take over. People need to upgrade. The new 3DS came out 3 years ago. So I think people should, at this point, if they're interested in keeping up with Nintendo, need to upgrade. That's not an unreasonable demand. If I should say so myself. But yeah, Luigi's Mansion will be cool. It'll be nice to see that kind of stuff. So, and I don't know if I really ranted about it. I know a few years ago when I had really started thinking about, or a couple years ago when I had started thinking about that Xenoblade Chronicles 3D thing, whereas the 3DS is such a lost opportunity where they could be doing so much more if Wii ports are possible and now GameCube ports are possible. So they're embracing what the 3DS is capable of, but I don't think they're really taking it to the advantage that they could be. So I hope whenever the next Nintendo Direct is, or whenever they start, or whenever they decide to release more stuff, I hope that they will embrace stuff like Xenoblade Chronicles 3D and Luigi's Mansion 3D if it goes well. So that's it for that. Whoever's out there watching, thanks for watching, and I'll see whoever's out there in the next video. So, peace.